Lay. Sir. Yeah. Yeah.
Kane is in the building.
Alright, already the show goes on all night. Till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they would see the sun? Just remember when you come up, the show goes on. Alright, already the show goes on all night. Till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they would see the sun? Just remember when you come up.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Two Heels and a Face Wrestling Podcast. On this episode, it is myself, Charlie, and Chris breaking down the latest AAW wrestling show that we attended. It is AAW Epic. It was at a new venue, and we will break down the card for you. And then also, I wanted to talk about something really quick and random at the beginning, and maybe we'll touch a little bit on the current superstar shakeup that is currently happening. But first of all, Chris, how are you?
Doing all right, man. Thank you for bringing me back to the Chuck Colorado compound.
Yes, the compound. We are here. It is opening night for your world champion Chicago Cubbies. How do you feel about that?
I'm indifferent.
Chris, I got to say you're rocking some sweet Chicago Fire gear coming up.
Yeah, bro. Being near UIC makes me feel like I'm just going to jump in the field and play a little bit.
Yeah.
Especially in the rain. It's the best.
Speaking of champions, Bastian Schweinsteiger plays for the German national team, now on the Chicago Fire.
World Cup champion.
Let me get quick thoughts on that for you.
For the Fire, I mean, I've been following the Fire forever since they started. I went to their opening game, I think it was 1998.
Nice.
So I've been a fan with the Fire for a long time. I've been a season ticket holder for 3 to 4 seasons. I skipped out on last season.
Nice.
And it was because, after they needed big names. They needed somebody to bring in more dynamic to the team.
Okay.
They let go of a few players. And right now I think bringing him on board makes a difference to the team, and it has so far. He scored on his first game. I don't know how they did this weekend.
Okay.
But definitely, aside of the tailgate, and you talk to some of my friends where they're like, yeah, we're down to Fire games because we just tailgate and stay out there, and we might go in at the second half. That's what it became, a couple of seasons ago, because we knew that there was nothing that was going to take the Fire, above and beyond. But now we're like, all right, let's go to a game, check it out, see what happens.
So Bastian is trying to lead us to the promised land. Is that
I
true?
think so. I mean, I want to be hopeful. I mean, I've been waiting for a big name, so now that we have somebody, and there's some talent in there. They just need a little boost.
Okay.
And I think he brings that to the team.
Is it true that when these big names come over from Europe, they're usually on the latter end of their career?
That's the perception.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's I think somebody has referenced the MLS as the League of the Elephants, right? Because they just come here and they're tired, done with their big runs, and they're here just to get 1 or 2 seasons out and retire.
Yeah.
And that's true in a way, because a lot of the players that come from overseas or even Mexico are people that have already, are players that have big names, that they'll already have a following. And they are at that point where it's like, okay, MLS is going to give me a good payday.
Yeah.
And the style is also very different. It's a bit slower. So it's not as heavy on their body as well, because they're at the end of their careers.
Right.
So, yeah, that is a perception, but and I want to say that it's not true, but deep inside of me, it makes me feel like, yeah, they're here to retire. But you also have somebody's that, and I don't know if there are many soccer fans, but you have Gio, who's a really famous soccer player in Mexico. He's from Mexico, and he's playing for the LA Galaxy, and he's one of the young ones that actually decided to come over and play for the MLS.
Oh, nice.
He actually, he started his career in Barcelona.
Okay.
So he grew up in Barcelona. He made a name for himself over there. Comes to Chicago, to the MLS, and he's playing really well with the LA Galaxy.
Sweet. That's something that I'm sure you, the listener, were not expecting to hear. So Chris just Chris has broke down some MLS soccer, but yeah, we got to catch some games this season. I'm going to jump into, I know we want to get into an Epic show we saw this past Friday, AAW Epic. I want to jump into one random question.
Go for it.
Just because I want to bring fresh, new concepts to talk about to our our listeners. So I'm hoping that you, the listener, will listen to this question and put it in your head and let it rattle around in there a little bit, because I think it's a different question, and I hope that no one really is expecting it. So
I'm not. I don't know if I'm ready for this.
It's just something I've always wondered. So in wrestling, right, when it's always the point of your character, well, the goal you're trying to get with your character or with the crowd is to get over, right? And everyone just talks about being over and what that is, and it's a term and a concept that you can't really use in the real world. Like, I've tried to use it outside of wrestling, and no one understands what I mean. Everyone will say, "What do you mean? What is over? Like, something end?" I'm like, no. That's not the way I'm using it.
Trying to make you look good, bro. I'm turning you over.
Exactly. I'm trying to put you over, but I feel like it's a completely like wrestling, right? It's subjective, but I'm wondering if you could make being over objective, and my question is, what is the formula to calculate if someone is over or not? Or is it all based on like a Triple H, a Vince, a whoever you want to say it, writing staff perception? That's my question. Is there a formula?
Right. I don't know if there's a formula, because if there was a formula, well, I don't know. Like, it could be really simple to be like, be yourself and turn up yourself, whatever Austin says, like, yourself to 1,000% or whatever.
Yeah, but how do you know if it's? How can you
know if that's
working?
Yeah.
Besides, like, one person could have the opinion that it is, and one person could have the opinion that it's not. Like,
so, but then you also have people that are over in the indies, but it's like, oh, if you take them to WWE, that's not gonna get over, or even within the WWE universe, right? Like, you have NXT, and it's like, you have Bayley, who's super over, and it could be a John Cena type if you do things right with her in the big stage. And right now she's over, but not really. Like, you could make a case for, Sasha being more over than Bayley, or,
So my question specifically relates to WWE. So Thank you for bringing that up. That's a good clarification point. Specifically WWE.
Because Sammy is over.
to you and me, he is, for sure. To you, I'm talking from an entire... you put 5 things up on the bulletin board. You're Triple H. You put 5 things up on the bulletin board.
Well, let me tell you.
5 pieces of data. 5 pieces of data.
Like, what's the recipe to?
What is the recipe for you, Triple H, to non-biasedly say that not in your opinion, not in Vince's opinion, but the universe is telling you that someone is over. So I have 3 things written down.
Okay.
I'm going to say them. Maybe if any other come into your head. It's just an interesting question because, I'm thinking like the writers and Trips and Vince, they're just like sitting in this room. And what if it's 50-50 split down the middle? Obviously, Vince is going to have the final say, but what if it's like down 50-50 down the middle? Someone like
is there a checklist that you could be like,
right?
You have these 5 things or whatever that number is.
Exactly. Someone like a Bayley or Sasha, or you could even say a babyface Seth Rollins, who could have been more over by a fan's perspective. Like, you and I would probably say Rollins is more over as a heel, Sasha was more over as a heel in NXT, and Bayley was more over in NXT. But like if someone's teetering in that kind of range, how would they evaluate it? So the 3 things I have written down are merch sales, obviously. Okay. I think that is like a hard statistic, right, that you can put in there. This one's tricky, as I don't know if I think you can measure it, but there's other factors that go into it.
So it has to be a measurable.
I'm thinking hard pieces of data, right?
Okay, non-biased type.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you and I could be having an argument of whether someone is over or not. I'm talking about not in our opinion, but in the entire WWE universe's opinion, or majority WWE universe's opinion. And you could show me this data, and it could like entire or like it could prove my theory wrong of someone not being
Right.
over when the data says they are. So I have merch sales. I have crowd noise,
Okay.
one way or the other. So I guess it's just I don't know what you would call the loudness of a boo. There's some term
Right,
for that. Pitch. That's not it. But and then so
The
third,
crowd pop. If you can
yeah,
measure that.
yeah.
somehow,
So what is the measurable of that like highest? Because there's that. I mean, these things are actually fake at basketball games, but there's like
Right,
that
that's what I
crowd
was
noise
thinking, the
meter.
crowds,
Yeah,
uh-huh.
like how do you measure that? Just volume. How do you measure volume? Whatever you use. Then so I have social listening tool. So
Okay.
you're a marketing guy, so I'm sure you have heard of these
Yeah.
tools, right? These tools where it can scrape large amounts of user posts, data, reviews, etc. So I'm thinking like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube comments, maybe Reddit even, and it scrapes it. And I've seen companies have these. They're called reputation management tools, right? They'll scrape all of like your Google reviews, your Yelp reviews, and they'll pull in a bunch of data based off of that, and they'll pull in like a word cloud. So based on all of the messages or bits of user data that they've collected, the word that's used the most will be the largest within the word cloud, and then around it will be other words that are frequently used.
Yeah, and then you can segment it based on sentiment and
Exactly.
right, all
Exactly.
that
Yep.
stuff.
Yep. So I'm thinking maybe they use. I want to say, because I don't think WWE is going to make their decision with what they want it to be.
I think a big factor into even approaching the realm of being over or getting over, if we're talking about WWE, I think like you have to have a certain look, like so
how
Roman
your
Reigns-
character looks.
Yeah. Like I mean, we were seeing that fade out a little bit, right? When we compare the look of Roman Reigns versus
Like
Owens,
an Owens, exactly. Yeah.
right? But I think ultimately, like at least right now, you still need to have some sort of look,
Okay, but
and it's not. We're talking WWE, so it's all
Right.
Vince's call. Like,
Right,
does he
right.
have the look or
so
not?
that would probably be like Vince's fourth factor. if
Right.
he-
While Triple H is like, well, Owens has this to prove, and he has done this. And,
Yeah. I'm not saying that WWE makes decisions based off of what the universe wants, but I feel like it would be smart of them to at least have some sort of social listening tool to get
And I'm sure they do.
I'm sure they do. It'd be interesting just to see what that is or what that looks like. But do you have? I don't know. If you would put like 4 and 5. I know this is a really tough question,
Yeah.
and I just thought of it randomly because I feel like just being over could just. There's so many arguments wrapped up in that statement, whether someone is or not, unless you're a legend, like. And obviously, like Shawn Michaels, obviously everyone loves Shawn Michaels, but I'm talking about my current superstars on the roster. I wonder if they use any hard data or if it's just like, this is how we kind of feel. Like, is hard data factored into that question of who gets pushed or not?
I think you're right on with merch sales.
Yeah.
Right? Because you have a certain amount of freedom to be creative with the character that they somewhat assign you. Like, I guess because you do like collaborate a little bit in your character development, but there's certain freedoms that you have on the mic. I'm sure like anything that Enzo says on the mic is not scripted, right?
Yeah.
So the little sayings that the cup of haters, like I don't think they wrote that for him. He said it stuck.
Yeah.
And he has a shirt that has a coffee cup and
Yeah.
it says cup of haters. So
Exactly.
and then merch decides like, is he getting a title push because he's in with the crowd?
Yeah. That's
So I think that's I think that's initially what drives it, right? Like, are you ready for merch, and is your merch going to speak for you as well?
Yeah. I mean, that would make sense. I think that would be the number one factor. I mean, that's a huge reason why Roman,
Right.
is where he is, I feel, is merch sales.
And they released, I think this week or somewhere this week, I saw the salaries for the top 10 highest paid.
The wrestlers?
Yeah, WWE. Forbes released it.
Okay.
And I know number one is Brock Lesnar with $12 million a year.
Okay.
I think
that's pretty good for his workload.
Yeah, that's nice.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember. I mean, I would be getting them wrong if I start guessing, but I know, obviously, Dean, Rollins, and Reigns are in there. I know that. I think Reigns is second or third, maybe. Somewhere in the middle is Ambrose, and below that is Rollins.
Okay.
So that caught my attention. I was like, And you would think, like, Rollins, keeps putting on merch all the time.
Yeah. And then this isn't... How much of this are guaranteed? Or is it you get paid... You get only paid when you work, right? And for what you sell?
Well, based on what I saw, it's salaries. And then there's another column with bonuses, but it's not very clear.
Okay.
I saw this with the women as well.
Yeah.
Like, there's certain certain women wrestlers that get extra bonuses, and this is like travel expenses or something. And I feel like I thought at least everybody gets covered for travel and stuff.
Oh no, they pay for their own travel.
But at least I thought they did. Like,
okay.
So yeah, no, some of them like it doesn't explain it very well, but the Forbes article does break down, like, does tell you who are the top 10.
Yeah, I'm wondering how much of that is based and how much of that is. Right, like maybe Reigns and Dean just sell more merch because more kids like them. Like,
right, instead it's been off TV. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Well, I think that's just a good question for the listeners to ponder. And if you know of any other factors in which hard data factors, like measurables, right, not just opinions that you personally would throw into that mix if you were Triple H, if you were Vince,
right?
Please let us know, because that'd just be an interesting conversation to have. So let's get into the juicy goodness of AAW Epic.
So first of all, let's start with the venue. Like, what did you think of the venue once you got there? Had you been in that area before?
Yeah, so it was the old Toby.
Oh, that's right. You said you went to a concert there.
It was before. So it was at Joe's Live in Rosemont. It was the old Toby Keith's bar, Toby Keith's bar in Rosemont. I've been at that bar a couple times. Where the ring was where I've been. It was I guess it was I want to say it was like half concert, and then when it was Toby Keith's, and then they just opened it up to just like a dance floor. Yeah. So I've been on that dance floor a couple of times where the ring was, just having a good time with my friends. So it was super interesting. First of all, they broke what Toby Keith's used to be Joe's Live, and then it was also like that place next door to it, which was a different restaurant. Oh, so it was like Toby Keith's was large, extremely large. I want to say it was both of those, and it looks like they kind of cut it up, maybe built a wall, and now they have two things there, like a restaurant. I'm not sure what it was called, and then Joe's Live, but
it's Bub City, bro.
Bub City, yeah, that's what
super good.
That's what it is. Okay, I didn't have that, but yeah, it was interesting to see it because I've just known that place to be something else for, I've only been there like a couple times, but then you just put a ring in the middle of it and somehow it just like looked natural and this was AEW's nicest venue, much nicer than Bourbon Street, a lot more room to just drink at the bar beforehand.
Right. And then if you went to the bar during a match or whatever, like, you still had the live feed on different screens, big projector screen.
That was cool. There was that balcony. Tell me about the balcony. You were up there.
Right. So we went up there. So as soon as we walked in, because Carla and I got there super early. We had dinner, or we tried to eat some food before then. So we met up with our buddy Hector, and he's like, bro, let's go check up upstairs. And they had like a rope in there, acting like you couldn't go. He still walked up there, so then we followed him, and because it was pretty empty when we got there, like we were the first ones to get through. Yeah. Like you could be in the balcony and look directly down to the ring, and it was I think it's a great option if you're getting GA to just go up in the balcony.
That was a GA ticket?
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe it was a GA ticket.
I would 100% do that.
I know they had some mix-ups also with the seating chart and not being accurate. And I heard some stuff and some comments, but AEW being the great host, like they adjusted everybody. They adjusted me. They also messed up a little bit of my tickets.
Oh, did they? Yeah, because we didn't sit together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So then they're like, no, don't worry about it. We'll take care of you, and they did. So yeah, but the upstairs was super nice. There's also some like section off areas where we thought it was like VIP.
Okay.
I don't know if they were VIP, but even if you got those side balcony areas or on the lower level areas, everybody seemed to have a perfect view of the ring and what was going on. So.
Yeah. There was validated parking. They hooked it up with the validated parking.
Right. At first, that was some complaining going around like, oh, $15 parking. Like I didn't expect that.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as you walked in, like, no, you can get it validated. Don't worry about it. And if you validate it, it lasts you 24 hours. So I think Jim, he was thinking about still partying out through the night. He's like, I'll just crash at a hotel.
I met up with him after the venue for a couple. He was partying.
Yeah, he's like, I'll just probably, get a hotel and just stay here. He's like, I don't know what to do with my car, though. I'm like, well, they said it was 24 hours, so I don't know if he ended up leaving it there overnight.
I don't know, but it was cool to see. It was cool to see all the wrestlers hanging out because there was an outside balcony, too.
That was the outside balcony, yeah.
Yeah, so as you're walking in, all the wrestlers were, like, hanging over the edge. And we just saw, like, all the people who were for AEW up there. So I think they enjoyed it, too. The weather was nice.
And even their merch table area was big enough, right? So it wasn't a big crowd always trying to push through or whatnot. Like they were able to sell their merch, comfortably.
Yep.
The fans were able to get their merch comfortably. So
yeah, just a lot of space. Which is cool.
A lot of space, and there were. I think the attendance was 710 people.
Okay.
I think that's what it was, but I mean, if they would promoted it, because I'm sure the space could have, had space for more than that.
I think Bourbon hits 600.
Really? Is that? I don't remember the capacity at No.
I think I just remember them mentioning something that it was at 600 or something. Berwyn was through like 375, right? Because of the fire code that we talked about. I don't know what Bourbon hits. I want to say it hits in the 600s. With standing.
I don't know how many more people they fit in whenever they take. And I don't think you were there. The only one time that I know that they opened up that extra patio space.
Oh yeah, I don't think I was there for that one. Yeah.
I really liked that because it also gave the merch table was pretty open for the flow of wrestlers and people and everything, and there were a bunch of chairs there too. I think those were GAs.
Okay.
But that was at Bourbon. They did that only once. I don't know the full capacity at Joe's, but I think the number that they hit was 710.
And it was cool too because there was because you're walking down into a dance floor.
Mm-hmm.
So you start on a higher level, but then you walk down into the dance floor, where there's a dance floor and then a stage, and the ring is on the dance floor. So they almost had elevated stadium seating just because. So they fit a lot of chairs in there because some people are sitting on a higher tier than others. So they can have, even where our friend Matt was there, even where Matt was sitting, he was sitting kind of farther back, but he had a straight shot because he was so elevated. He had a straight shot at the ring.
Different level of chairs, right? Like there's like the regular foldable chairs, and then some that are a bit higher, like tall boy type chairs.
Yeah, exactly. And they were bringing in like stools. Mm-hmm. They were putting people on different scene planes or eyesight levels, which I think also helped too. So I thought it was an amazing venue. Like it's something that they needed. I think it's something that they can fill. I don't think they're gonna run every show off of there. No.
But at least 2 or 3 a year. Similar treatment that Logan gets, maybe.
Yeah, I'd agree. So, do you want to get into the matches that were on there? Do you want to get into anything else?
No, let's talk about the matches. I mean, we already knew going into this that it was going to be epic, right? Like,
it was going to be epic.
Pun intended and everything. Like,
oh, yeah.
And one of the things that we were questioning once we were there is, like, where are the wrestlers going to come out of? Like, we didn't see the curtain where they were going to come out.
Yeah, the Titantron, if you will. the Minitron.
Right. So, but no, we finally see that we're starting off this event with the besties in the world.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Davey Vega and Matt Fitchett.
Yep.
They were going against Trey Miguel and Stephen Wolf. Now, I had heard of Stephen Wolf, and I think either both of them or one of them had already made a debut in LaSalle.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's cool.
So it was their debut in Chicagoland area.
Yeah.
What was your take on this match?
It was fine. I mean, I think it was a tryout for Trey Miguel and or Stephen Wolf, or one of them. And it was cool to see the besties in the world get back to their winning ways.
I mean, there was still that moment where it's like, okay, here we go, they're messing up, and
yeah, there was those moments where there's that miscommunication between them. I think that David Vega does maybe the most in-ring storytelling out of anyone in that roster, which I completely appreciate. So I have to give hats off to him. I think he's very underappreciated just as a whole. I mean, I think the AAW faithful love him, but I don't think enough people, I guess you want to say in the Midwest
the full talent that he brings.
Right. Because he's not. You look at him and he doesn't look like a wrestler, or someone who's extremely. He's just not a body.
Right.
But he makes up for that in so many other ways, which I just really appreciate. So. Yeah,
and I mean, what's his name? Fitchett. I mean, he's super fit, and so they kind of when you see them together, it's like, they're a team, but they're the besties. So
they're definitely Fitchett is also the very athletic one. So I think they're
high flyer.
Yeah, the strengths and weaknesses play off of each other. So it was great. I mean, it was what we've come to know the besties, and I don't think the formula is broke. And I thought
I actually felt happy that they kept it together and not
Yeah, exactly.
We were talking about how the end is near, and they're gonna split them up, or they're gonna go their own ways.
Yeah, but that's true. I'm kind of over that now. I'm just kind of okay with them being together. But I thought they made the new guys look pretty good too in their own way. So.
Yeah, and I don't know much about Trey and Stephen Wolf to talk about what they've done in the Indies, or I know that Martin and them they know about them, and they have told me oh, you're in for a treat. But
nice. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect from them, but I really enjoyed the match, and it was a great starter.
Yeah, it was. It was a good starter. Besties in the world usually start, I feel, or they're early on the card, and it's a good spot for them.
Yeah, for sure. Then we had ACH versus Shane Strickland. So that was one that caught me off guard. I didn't know it was. I mean, then again, I don't know how else I would organize the card, but just when you hear the music, it's like, oh shit, this match is happening now.
Yeah.
I had that reaction, and I really, really enjoy, heelish ACH.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't. It's hard to categorize him as a heel because he's so loved and he's so good at what he does and everything, and we've known the happy-go-lucky ACH for so long.
He's got a really good smile that you just want to like this guy.
Right.
Yeah.
But definitely he turns it up when he's in this heel role, and then Shake Strickland, they provide a hell of a match, I thought.
This is one that I would have loved, and I know that I've made this complaint to you before. But this is one I would have loved some kind of promo in the ring before it happened. I think AEW's in-ring is a 12 out of 10, right? That is always going to be awesome. It always will be awesome because of the talent. But I want to know a why behind why these two guys are wrestling. Is there a reason?
Together, right?
Is there a reason behind it?
Well, Shane Strickland's debut, and I could get that wrong because I don't know if he had done it in LaSalle already, but I thought it was at Bearwin versus AR Fox.
Right.
Right. So then, how does that translate to just ACH versus Strickland? Something that kind of connects the dots. Is that what you're saying?
It would be cool. Yeah. Even if it's just if it's just a hey, I debuted last time and I had a hell of a match. And I'm trying to work my way up the singles ranks because I want to wrestle Penta for the Heritage Championship. Just give me a reason to. I'm glad that these two amazing athletes are wrestling each other, but I need a why.
Fun fact, I think is the first time they've ever wrestled against each other.
Really?
Yeah, I saw that somewhere, and I don't know if that's true, but
Even if it's that,
catch my attention, right?
Use stories from other promotions. Like, I have been wrestling for this many years, and I've never wrestled ACH, so I want to see what him and I can do.
AEW has the best talent, whatever.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be complex. You can have really complex stories for other storylines, but I still would like someone to speak on the mic besides Sammy before a match starts, or someone from OI4K besides OI4K to speak on the mic before a match starts and just explain why he's wrestling this person.
Yeah.
It's a simple thing, but I feel like it's completely overlooked.
And so, quick thing, it's a funny story. So Tank, I don't remember Tank.
Yeah, your friend.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he actually, when I was on my way here, he was asking me like, "Hey, bro, I know you buy a lot of AEW DVDs. Do they have storylines in them?" And you were just telling me about this too, and I just remembered.
Yeah.
He was like, "Do they have storylines in them?" And I'm like, "Well, basically, I buy the show that we just went to the month before. Mm-hmm. There's a few more promos maybe or whatnot." I'm like, he's like, "Yeah, because I really like AEW. I would like to know if they had more storyline, but not like WWE where it's all storyline."
Yeah.
And I told him, I'm like, I also have the online account, so let's, stop by the house, let's check out some matches and see what you think. Like, you could borrow some DVDs. So it is a good point that you're bringing up, right? Because, so Tank, who has been to 2 to 3 shows, he's interested in wanting to see more and see if there's more storyline than just what he sees as ring action. Yeah,
and you can use a promo for it that some people will just cut a promo about something general, like Eddie Kingston cut a promo about like his background one time when we were at Bourbon, and just like how people would never thought he would make it, and now he has. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of more an in general promo, but it doesn't tell anything really about his opponent. He talks a little bit of smack about OI4K, and then they had the match. So like even that would be cool. But if you don't have screen set
not
up,
all matches need to be like that, but I think there's enough room in the card for you to do that.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be complex, but either video package promo, or like someone in the ring, or just like give us some more context.
And then another thing to point out in this whole event, we didn't have any backstage promos.
Yeah, exactly. So right. Because it's a new venue, right, mm-hmm. and they didn't have any screens in where people were sitting, there were no backstage promos. So this would be the time to do it, right?
Right. Unless you were in the back, then you see them. But you're right.
Yeah. That's just something I want to point out. I'm not gonna beat it at horse, mm-hmm. but it'd be something cool to see, like a nice room for improvement,
Mm-hmm. And then we have Trevor Lee versus Chucky T. The cut the music.
Yeah.
Trevor Lee comes out, cut the music. Even the fans already knew that was going to happen. Like, because when he's, heel, he does the cut the music part, no dancing. But then, was it in this match or am I confusing it? Where Chucky T invites him to dance and wants him to dance.
He does the fake out. So he says, okay, play the music. And then he's going to dance for a second, and then he just beats up Chucky T. So, yeah, Trevor Heel, you could
Trevor
say.
Heel.
I basically just said that. But, yeah, Trevor Lee working mega heel. I love it. It was great. Did it again. In honor of Rick Rude, who just got inducted to the Hall of Fame with the cut the music.
Yeah. I mean, in this match, who won? Do you remember?
It was Trevor Lee. Trevor Lee had the title. And an old school heel finish. Had the tights on a roll up. Yeah, old school heel finish. The matches before that, I believe, ACH went with a brainbuster, just as a tidbit.
Yeah.
But yeah. Mm-hmm. So it was fine. I mean, I think Chuck Taylor can really do his thing without winning a lot of matches. Mm-hmm. It's almost like he doesn't need to win, and he can still be just really relevant, I feel. So I was totally okay with it.
This is the match that sent us into intermission, right?
No, I think there was one more. What do you got down on your list there?
So
there was the tag match.
So did the tag match sent us to intermission?
I believe so. The Evans and Angelico.
Yeah, Evans and Angelico versus OI4K, or as Carla messes up and says, 401K.
401K. Versus 401K. Yeah.
Jake and Dave Christ with the manager. I always forget his name.
JT Davidson.
Yeah, JT Davidson. Again, JT Davison doing his thing, distracting when he needs to distract.
I know you told me to watch him, but I wasn't watching him again.
Yeah.
I should.
No, he's good at what he does. And then, so the cool thing, I thought Jack Evans was going to wrestle that entire match with the cigarette in his mouth.
That's what I thought too. It was close.
It was close, and I thought at some point like the cigarette was going to come back, but no, it just got tossed out of the ring at some point. Huge fan of Angelico. Like, I've seen Jack Evans, and I'm a huge fan of him as well. But dude is so tall.
Yeah, that was my first time seeing him live.
Yeah.
Have you seen him at Lucha when he visited the temple?
I don't think so. I think he was injured when I got to go over there. But yeah, this is the first time I see him live. He's super. And I had seen him prior to the show. I mean, because we were having dinner in the little patio. Yeah. And he was hanging out there. Nice. But I didn't want to go bother or whatever. So
yeah.
And I got to meet him at the merch table, and pretty cool dude. But the match was full of high spots too. Here, like. Angelico and Jack Evans doing their tag team stuff, and OI4K going for, more hard-hitting, kind of quick combos. Yeah. Who OI4K takes the win, right?
Yeah. It was Dave Chris. Dave Chris did his. It's almost like a Sister Abigail into a DDT. Yeah. And then it was followed up by a Tombstone Pile Driver by Jake. It was cool to see. I was fine with OI4K winning. I have no problem with that. It was cool to see Jack Evans work face because I just want to like him, and then he always like flips the crowd off.
Well, he's one of the ones that would come out with the mic in the hand, right? When he's a heel.
Yeah.
He's one of the ones.
He does. I think that's why I like him so much.
Yeah, he doesn't need to, even talk about his opponent, like or say anything really. Like, he just talks trash right before the match, and it's like, okay, this is why they're fighting. Yep. Like, he was the one doing the Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah. Chimpopo. Yeah. Even so, exactly. Like, this is another example, just something little like that. It just puts the match on like a whole nother plane. I feel so. That was great.
So yeah, you're right. This one sends us into intermission, which I think it was needed. It was the right time for the intermission. Rehydrate a little bit.
Yeah. How do you feel about this first half of the card now? That you're. I feel
good. I didn't feel exhausted.
Okay. Yeah.
Sometimes you do. I did not take my 5-hour energy drink, so but I did pick up a Red Bull in intermission.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, just in case.
Just in case, yeah.
But yeah, I think it was a good pace. Like, the matches were good, but nothing that made me feel like, holy shit, there's another half of the show to go.
Yeah, that's true. It wasn't extremely exhausting. I felt like all the matches were well paced. Sometimes they slowed down because you got two people now, ACH and Trevor Lee, working heel, so they're always trying to slow the match down, whereas the face is always trying to speed it up. So I agree that it didn't exhaust me full of emotion, so I thought that was good. It was smart of them.
Yeah. But then we come to the, I think would you say this was the man of the match? Or the man of the match? Thinking soccer still, right? The match of the night? The Elgin versus Matt Riddle.
Wait. Didn't Phoenix and Mundo happen before that? Or no?
No.
I think Elgin and Riddle then took us in the half. And I think the opening was Phoenix and Mundo in intermission. But
probably.
Either way. So
you might be right again. But this match, I think, was a contender, if not.
Yeah, this is a Glory Pro rematch. Glory Pro, that Elgin's promotion that recently happened. They had the Riddle versus Elgin matchup. I tried to talk to Matt Riddle before the show, and I tried to ask him if he.
Right after you spilled beer on the.
This was so as I was shaking his hand, I spilled beer on the Progress title.
Shame on you.
He was so cool about it though. He was like, "Oh, dude," and I was just like, and then I looked down at the title.
Bro.
Yeah, he was like, "Bro," and then I looked down at the title, and there's just like a pool of beer, and I was just like, "Oh my god, I blew it!" And I was just gonna ask him if he had one of those Budweiser T-shirts, and he didn't. So I cleaned up the beer on the Progress title. I said thanks, and then I walked away
with his own merch.
No, it was a bar napkin. I didn't clean it up with his own merch. Are you kidding me? He would have really put me to sleep.
Right.
Yeah, so this match was cool because they started it off like it was an MMA fight, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
One of those matches, right? That feels like a non-scripted fight. And a lot of kind of grappling around the waist and like takedowns that they looked good, but not like extremely clean to the point where they were choreographed.
Yeah.
And I thought that probably the last minute or 2 minutes of this match could make a case for the loud. I think they had the crowd at the loudest point.
For sure.
When Riddle started hulking up after he was no-selling those suplexes, that crowd was rocking. And there was I think a huge AAW chant after the match was over.
Uh-huh.
So I think if I were to categorize that 2 minutes, I would say like that was the best 2-minute segment of probably the whole show.
Yeah, for sure. And I just remember the false finish before the real finish.
Yeah.
And I think you were able to capture a snap.
Yeah, I got a couple good snaps. I got a couple of good snaps of every match on our Twitter account at 2 Heels and a Face. Shameless plug. So go check those out.
Yeah, I mean that was. I thought that match was great. Then like you said, we have Phoenix versus John Morrison.
Yeah.
Or Johnny Mundo.
Yeah, Boone the Bounty Hunter.
Right. What name did he use? Do you remember what?
He used John Morrison, I think.
Morrison?
He used John Morrison, yeah. Which isn't his actual name. It's Hennigan, I believe, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So tell me your thoughts on this.
So, Phoenix Mark, so I was super excited. And, I was front row, so... No, so this match, so I had seen Morrison before when he wrestled against Callahan.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see how he adjusts this or his style is just different when he's wrestling somebody that's like Phoenix, more, I don't know if it's more agile or more of a high flyer or more of a luchador. Yeah. Not to take any credit from Callahan, but
he's your traditional luchador.
Yeah.
Phoenix.
So I really enjoyed the match. Some pretty cool spots, and the kicker was that I actually got to buy Phoenix's mask after the match.
You did. It was sweaty. I had my hands all up in that mask.
Yeah. I had talked to him previously, and we had talked about some stuff we wanted to do, and once the show was over or whatnot, I went up there and I got the mask. So,
yeah. After the show, when I went and go met up with Jim at the bar next door called Park Tavern, some of the wrestlers were leaving, and I was shouting at Mundo to come up and party with us, and he looked interested. He looked interested, but he didn't come up there. But would it be cool to party with Johnny Mundo and just?
I know Trevor Lee has partied at Bourbon.
After?
Yeah.
Like after a show.
Yeah, because there's so many like dance floors in there. Like,
right. Trevor Lee's much younger too than everybody, so he's still got some.
Right. I forget he's really young.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, he's on the road constantly. With that age, you probably just want to more so than some of the older people. You just want to let loose.
And by partying, I mean like he's on the dance floor being Trevor Lee, babyface Trevor Lee.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
And then what I was surprised... Oh, no, this is not the main event yet. We have the Killer Cult versus Loki, and it was supposed to be... what's his name? Eddie Kingston.
This match wasn't advertised, was it?
I think
beforehand?
So.
It was? Okay.
I feel like it was, because I feel like Kingston was tag teaming with Loki.
Oh, I missed the Twitter poster about this then, or the twit pic.
Mm-hmm. And, Kingston couldn't make it. I don't know. I think he's a bit injured. He had an injury with Impact or something like that. And I could be wrong. But Loki, before the match, says, I think early in the show, right? He came out and cut a promo.
Yeah. I think he came out and attacked OI4K.
Right, after their
match. Yeah, which is great. Mm-hmm. Loki on the mic before. That's telling a story.
Yep.
That's great.
And it was a layup to say, like, I'm going to bring somebody as my partner, and you'll see who it is.
OI4K always, OI4K and their beef with Outlaw Inc., I feel like they're constantly on the mic, which is great. Mm-hmm. I love to see that. Like, that is a known beef that constantly happens. So it's cool.
So this is the return of Congo Kong, who we hadn't seen since he faced Callahan for the title in LaSalle. So it's been a few shows that he hasn't been on AEW.
Bro, I saw you when his music hit. You knew. You knew what was up. I saw you jump out of your seat when Kong's music hit. I didn't know exactly who it was right away, but you were all over it.
And then so it's funny, right? Like Hector's reaction. I was sitting near him. He's like, "Bro, why did he cut his hair?"
Not
so
yet.
I found that funny.
Not a super. I don't even know what you want to say. Like, he's just got such an odd body type and look.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what makes him.
Makes him, yeah.
Yeah, but it's he's just like a person you can really stare at because he's got like a unique body, a unique hair. Like, his face is different.
He's super athletic, dude. Like,
very for his size. Yeah,
the moonsaults and the turnbuckle bombs, and he even does over the rope onto the outside. Like, he's done that a few times. Like,
fucking kicking Abyss's ass.
Fuck Abyss.
God, fuck that guy, dude.
But yeah, I thought and then so during that match you saved Low Ki.
Yeah. So of course, there isn't an OI4K Outlaw Inc. match that doesn't spill into some sort of crowd.
This wasn't a wrestling match. It was more of a brawl, right?
Yeah, like all of theirs are, but it's great because it makes the feud like so much more, like they really effing hate each other, so but yeah, Low-Ki and Sammy got on the stage, and I don't know, Low-Ki was selling a punch or something, and like he was losing his balance, and he was like, I was standing right on I had a seat up there, but I sat behind a monster of a man, some really tall big dude with a huge bald head. And I sat down in my seat. I was like, I can't see shit.
Right, because you're on stage and you don't have that slope that other people in the outside.
Right. There's no elevate. Well, the last row was on stools, so that was a little bit elevated seating. But second, third row of the stage, you were in the first. I was in second row. We got split. I couldn't see shit. So I stood the whole show on the stage, off to the side. It was fun. It was fine. But since I'm standing now, and I'm kind of standing off to, like, if you're looking at the stage, I'm standing to the left. I'm on the left side. And Low-Ki is like selling a punch, and he's like kind of waving his hands to get balance. I don't think he would have fell, but I was just like, oh, I just stuck my hand out, and like I basically just stopped the momentum of his shoulder blade. And it looked like I did. He wasn't gonna fall, but I felt like it was the right thing to do for me as a fan. Like, yo, I got you, kind of saving Low-Ki, but
and they were all over the place, and it was pretty much Abyss versus Kong and Callahan versus. Low-Ki. And I mean, Low-Ki and Callahan super stiff at each other.
Oh yeah.
That telling that story from last show too, right? Because what was last show where they were?
Yeah. The Berwyn show. Yeah.
So I really enjoyed the match. I mean, Abyss is Abyss, and Chicago does not like Abyss.
No,
I don't think so.
No, he does not. He's wearing some kind of parachute pants. Look like that are made out of hefty garbage bags, and
but
someone called him. God, what did someone call him? Someone called him the Kane of the Indies over by me.
Oh yeah,
like the current Kane, Kane of the Indies, which I thought was actually really funny because current Kane right now can't really work too well. I mean, he can kind of do his thing, and neither can really Abyss. That's why he's put in these matches. I mean, he's good for the role that he's put in. But someone called him the Kane of the Indies by me. I just started laughing out loud.
And to add more heat, like they end up taking the win.
Yeah, always.
Right?
OI4K just dominates this feud. I feel like Outlaw Inc. never wins. Never gets theirs, but it still feels relevant to me, this feud. So I enjoyed it.
For sure. So how do you feel about, because I was taken by surprise that the Heritage Championship was being defended as the main event.
I thought that was great.
Like, obviously I'm ecstatic because it's Pentagon or Penta.
Yeah.
And versus AR Fox, which is a match that I had told you was, like, I was really looking forward to it because I think in LaSalle when they had their first match, it was also a show stealer. So I'm like, great, but it did. I was surprised that it was it was the main event.
I think it makes sense. I mean, if Sammy's not going to main event because he's in a tag match, then you have your Intercontinental title per se, right? Main event the show. So we've seen SmackDown do this it was either Backlash or No Mercy in late 2016. I think the Styles, maybe was it Styles Ambrose or something, went on first in that pay-per-view, the Styles match, and then I think it was Ziggler and Miz, the Intercontinental title kind of headline. So I thought that was just kind of the same thing a little bit.
Right,
so.
and then the other thing is that I think previous to what was it, to Saturday, I had seen that AR Fox was going to take some time off of wrestling. Like,
is he?
Like, I don't know if it's just like, because I mean, all these guys wrestled so many shows, in Orlando a week prior to.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's what he meant by like he needs to take a break.
Huh.
So I don't know if we're gonna see him soon back in action. So I kind of like, well, we'll see where like how. Let's see what he means by taking time off. Right?
Yeah.
But regardless of that,
months,
but regardless of that, like the match was great. There was the break his arm chants, and he went for that spot. Obviously, like because when he was doing that, I'm like, oh, this is it. This is how you're gonna get him off for a while. Like, break his arm, sense. It's over.
Yeah,
and then Fox takes a break.
Yeah. I love how Penta can be such a sadistic psychopath and the crowd just loves him.
Yeah.
It's great. Like in 1 second you're saying break his arm, and then the other you're just cheering because he won a match and regained the title. It's like it's never those two almost in the same match, but Penta can pull it off, man.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, he's along with, the Lucha guys. Like, we had how many Lucha Underground people in this one, right?
We had
at least 3. And then, Angelico and Jack Evans.
Yeah.
So that's 5.
Mundo. Did you count him?
I counted him, yeah. But yeah, I mean, these guys are hot commodities, and it's great that AEW keeps bringing them, and especially now that, Penta has the title, the Heritage Championship. Who does he defend against next?
I don't know.
No?
I don't know. I mean, you could say a rematch versus ACH, but we've already kind of seen that. I feel like that. I'm not sure if they really do rematches that frequently.
Right.
Or maybe they do an ACH and it involves some kind of other stipulation. Maybe there's weapons involved. Maybe there's a ladder match. That'd be cool.
We haven't seen a ladder match.
I don't think we have seen a ladder match.
I've seen cage matches.
Joe's would be perfect for it if you can hang something, because it's got a tall enough ceiling.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you can hang something from the ring there or from the ceiling there, but that is a tall enough venue to do a ladder match.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you got the balcony upstairs too, which would provide a cool view.
Phoenix versus Penta, bro. Ladder match. Make it happen.
Phoenix versus Penta. They're kind of on the. I feel like they haven't wrestled each other too much though. But
they have not.
Yeah.
You said they have or they haven't?
No, they haven't. Even in the other promotions that I'm seeing.
Right.
They're
no,
like on a tag
They
team.
haven't. But, and right now, like, they're with the whole Lucha Brothers gimmick, so I don't think they're going to go against each other. It'll just be interesting to see who's next. The same applies for Sammy. I don't know who's going to... I wanted him to defend against Phoenix again, right? And then have Phoenix get a run, but that's just me probably being a little biased.
Yeah. No, I think you bring up a good point, though. Like, who...
Because you had Sammy for, in a tag match right now, and I think that's okay. Mm-hmm. But he defends in LaSalle, and I'm assuming he defends in LaSalle.
Yeah, but to your point, like, long term, who is it? Where is the direction going? And
I'm fine with low key taking it from him.
Yeah,
and let low key.
I would be fine with that.
He's a vet. Like, let him carry it and let him carry the company. Like.
Is Zack Sabre Jr. going to come back?
Well, we're supposed to get Zack, right? Back at Berwyn?
Yeah. Zack versus Elgin for
I don't know if they're going to continue that. Like, we still bring that up, but, I mean, we haven't seen Zack. Is it all year? No, we've seen him.
We saw him at Berwyn.
Right. And, he didn't... And, what's his name wasn't there, right? Big Mike wasn't there?
Yeah, Big Mike wasn't there.
So, it'll be interesting to see where they take us again, we definitely talked about, room for improvement in that, giving us some mic time at least before the match and just some trash talking. But they got my thing here is just like, let's get a women's match in there.
Yeah, well,
I know LaSalle is going to
I think your prayers are going to be answered, right? Don't they have your girl wrestling?
Who?
Who did you get that picture from recently?
Oh, Veda Scott. Yeah, she's gonna be at LaSalle.
Veda Scott's gonna be at LaSalle.
So is Gargano's wife, and I hate that I just said Gargano's wife. What's her name?
Candace. That's great. Yes, we do need more women's wrestling, or a stronger division, right? A stronger core, because
Right, and you said they've done the merging with Shimmer.
Yeah.
So I'm down for that as well. So let's get some women on the card. But overall, like this was a great show. Like I think it was how the card was laid out was perfect. And I mean, you say this every time. Like when you don't think they could get better, it's still they provide a better show. So
and we got Keith Lee coming soon, who's another big name or getting to be a big name. David Starr, I believe, is gonna be. So we're gonna see all these guys. Mil Muertes versus.
Not gonna see him. I'm not gonna see him.
Versus Hardcore Holly and LaSalle. Who thought of that matchup? And thank you.
I've always, I brought it up before. Like they owe us a Mil Muertes. Like there was I can't remember the name of the show, but he was scheduled for a bourbon show.
Yep.
And then ended up getting canceled, and like, oh, we'll bring him back sometime. And now they're gonna bring him to LaSalle. So,
dude, seriously, if you can make the trip to LaSalle, that matchup of Hardcore Holly versus Mil Muertes, like I described it as two. Basically, it's you and I playing a video game, and all of the available indie wrestlers are selectable in this video game, and we just hit the randomize button.
For sure.
And it just like selected, flickered through all the different people that we could choose. And it just selected Hardcore Holly and Mil Muertes. It's so intriguing.
I'm sure if I get to go, if Carla lets me go, she'll just give me cash, take away my card, and say go.
You can only spend a certain amount of money. Don't buy Phoenix's mask this time.
Right. No, so that was the goal behind Phoenix's mask is that, I had Phoenix. Now this is the Ray Phoenix mask. So next in line, I also want to get, Penta LCRM. Mask. I already have the Pentagon Junior mask.
So are they different?
Yeah.
There's variations?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The
like
design is
small
different.
Stuff? Yeah. Okay. Because it's not noticeable.
For Phoenix's mask is a little bit more is less noticeable than the Penta mask.
Okay.
I mean, if there's a chance to getting a Mil Muertes mask, that'll be ultimate. Like super. I'll be super ecstatic, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I'm also going. Are you going to go to C2E2? Are you interested in that?
Is that
that Comic-Con like thing at McCormick Place here in Chicago?
Wait, what is that? You know about all these events. What is that?
Tank and his brother Miguel and them, they run a podcast called Geek Studios. And
they followed us.
They do reviews on like comics and like movies, Power Rangers and like superheroes. So I'm not into that kind of stuff.
Oh, I'm in.
At least I don't follow it as closely as they do, and they review stuff. But Miguel had an extra ticket, and he invited me on Sunday, and a lot of Lucha Underground wrestlers are gonna be.
It's this Sunday.
Next Sunday, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to check the schedule. But that's cool that. Shout out to Geek Studios, and maybe we should do a collab with them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because they basically Miguel's like, because I also helped them, set up their WordPress and all that stuff, and so he was like, I said thank you for helping us get started. He got me a ticket to that.
Nice.
So I'll be going up there on Sunday, and I know Mysterio's gonna be there. Ray, Lita, and Jerry the King Lauder, and I don't know who else. Like, There's gonna be some wrestlers over there, so I'll check that out.
Tell me about the conversation you had with the Lucha Brothers after the show.
Yeah, so we've been talking for a while, and I told them about our podcast and how we cover local indie shows, mainly AAW, and if they were willing to just kind of talk to us a little bit and get them on record with them.
Yeah.
So they were pretty busy. They were down for it. They had to go cut promos, so it was like, well, let's do it now, here and then. And so right after the show, we talked for it was a 5-6 minute conversation.
Okay.
We talked to Pentagon first, and I pretty much asked him what was his experience like in AEW. He's been here for about over a year.
Yeah, over a year.
And he's held both titles, the Heritage and the big effing belt.
The big,
right?
The big gold belt.
So, which I really love that belt, by the way.
Yeah, it's nice design.
Huge improvement from the last one.
I think so.
But yeah, so he was like, AEW is very different from all the indie shows that I go to. He's like, and he's been all over the world. Like, this is a worldwide question.
Oh yeah.
He's like, the atmosphere is different, and I'm not just saying it because I'm talking to you, but the fans and the people that we interact here with are just very friendly, So he's thankful for the opportunity,
Nice.
and also for AEW to remaining their doors open after the whole name change and that stuff.
Yeah.
When talking to Phoenix, he was telling me that he calls AEW his home because it's the first promotion that, in his words, was like pretty much took him in after the whole also because he was the first one to leave AAA.
Okay.
So he was looking for indie shows. He's like, I decided to move to San Diego. So I'm my first place to go look was AEW because I had been here and I liked the place and. And I could have gone look somewhere else. I live in the other side of the country. He's like, but AEW reached out to me as well, and I really enjoy working here. So he was super happy that AEW opened up those opportunities. And then I went storyline with him, and I asked him, I'm like, so when is your shot? Like, I know you just recently faced Callahan, but what's next for Phoenix?
Good question.
And he was saying that. He wants another shot, obviously. Like, that's his goal. Like, the goal of being in this promotion is to hold the title, which he hasn't done. So he didn't say, like, oh, I'm going after Sammy, but he said the title. So I was like, oh, maybe a panel thing. But I didn't bring that up, and we kind of closed it off there. Like, it was a brief conversation.
And we're going to have that audio once we...
Right.
It's got some background noise on it.
Yeah, I mean, we were... Because that's the other thing, too. Like, at Joe's, they start playing music after the show is over, right? Like, they want to turn it into a club.
Yeah.
So, it's decent audio, but it could be improved. So we're going to get one of our tech guys to take a look at
we're going to reach out to someone. I forgot to do that, but I can do that. I forgot to do that yesterday, but I can do that today. Or tonight before I rest my head. But, I agree. I enjoyed the show. I don't think it topped Homecoming, but for the new venue.
And it felt like, I don't know if it was less matches, but it felt quicker.
I think it was 8 matches.
It was 8 matches.
Quicker.
Yeah.
It did feel quicker. I don't know. I think everyone was around maybe like the 10, 12-minute mark. No one went super long.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. I kind of like that. But it would just be cool. That's just one complaint I have. Like, tell me a story long term.
Mm-hmm.
I think OI4K does that in all of their feuds. Like, I feel like they always do something extra for the crowd, whether it's a run-in or a promo or things like that. But I'm going to continue.
So we have the constant of now seeing Marty DeRosa being the backstage interviewer.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that's going to help into the storytelling now that they have a person that's going to be doing, like, getting the reactions backstage or promos after the show?
I mean, I would think so. I want to, it's making me want to watch those promos now.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if they're going to release them via YouTube. Or if they were just for the DVD, or I don't know, but it's knowing that we didn't get any, and the fact that they did them after the show makes me think that they're going to be released on YouTube to build for the next one or recap.
Well, usually that's what they do, right? They
Yeah.
cut a few that are leading into what's coming up next versus what's about to happen right now.
Yeah, Sammy has awesome. They released a lot of Sammy promos on YouTube, and his are really cool. He's like sitting in a boiler room somewhere. It looks like
right. I mean. When Ciampa was there, he would also do his.
Yeah.
Like, it would look like he was in the basement somewhere.
That's probably where they are, in a basement. Before we go, Superstar Shakeup. Any other news come in while we were sitting here?
No. So right now, off the top of my head, at least that I could remember, is we have The Miz and Maurice on Raw. We have Dean Ambrose on Raw with the title. We're not watching Raw right now, so we don't know what's.
We're
gonna
not
happen
watching
with
it, but it's happening.
And we don't know what's happening with the title. The title comes over, or he drops it. I don't know what's happening there. Who's the other superstar?
Apollo Crews.
Apollo Crews
on
was
Raw?
announced. Earlier in the night.
Face the Facts, Kurt Hawkins
Kurt Hawkins is in Raw.
is going to go job on Raw.
And yeah. And holy shit, Braun. So does Braun go to SmackDown?
What does it say?
I don't know. It's just a reaction from somebody.
Okay. So you'll probably be listening to this, you the listener, after the Superstar shakeup. But this is just kind of our initial reactions to them. The Shield could stay on Raw, maybe not. Crews gets a fresh start, so they can redo him almost, or do him right for the first time.
So something big happened. I think it was Braun attacking Roman Reigns.
It's not big,
but the reason I say big is because everybody's like, holy shit, like that's the.
There's
constant.
a bunch of holy shits.
Yeah.
It sucks that the Miz is going to Raw, but in some people's eyes, you could say, "Oh, but the Miz deserves it." But does that mean that Raw is still the main show? Like, doesn't the Miz deserve just a title shot on SmackDown? Like, why does he have to go to the main show? He's been doing amazing, the Miz. He's had like one of the best years.
What are your thoughts about, or have you heard about the House of Horror match?
Oh no!
No,
what is
so
that?
this is another gimmick match that's happening between Bray and Randy. It's Payback. It's House of Horror.
Wait, at Payback?
Yes, that's the next one.
Okay.
Not Backlash.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, right.
Payback is a Raw pay-per-view, isn't it?
I think so, but so I'm seeing right here it's announced for Payback. But anyway, it's a House of Horrors match. House of Horror, and some people I had seen it on Twitter. Some people were being surveyed by WWE, pretty much like asking them like, "Oh, what would you like to see in a House of Horror match?" So it made it feel like they're trying to figure out what this match is gonna be like.
They don't even have
They don't even have a plan for the name. Like, so I'm scared, but just because it's my boy Bray again, getting that type of treatment. I don't know if he's gonna get the title back or whatnot in this one, but I just can't be excited for it. I don't know, but we'll see.
What if they do some offsite shit like they did for the Wyatt compound, but it's not scripted before? Well, it is, but they maybe just set up cameras inside of one of those old sheds, not the one that burnt down, obviously, and then they have a match in there. It's almost like them going backstage, but instead of going backstage, you go to the Wyatt's compound, and it's not pre-filmed. It's being filmed as it's happening. It's live.
And there's a boat, and there's a lake, and there's fireworks, and then the Jeff Hardy comes out.
Okay, I see what you're getting at.
But yeah, who knows? I'm not excited for it right now. Maybe tomorrow after we watch SmackDown, then we get more details on that.
Yeah. I feel like check this out. Bray, Randy, tag team. They wrestle Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees with a run-in from Leatherface.
From Leatherface?
Book it.
Make it happen. Kalisto goes to Raw. I don't know what that's going to do for him. I guess, do they need any more
He almost
jumps?
needs a reset, too. He needs a reset also.
Yeah. And that's why, it's hard to, like, with these lower card guys, like, they're, right now we're seeing them as jobbers, right? Because they haven't got any real pushes.
Yeah.
They're just there to take the fall.
And even with them going to Raw, that's, like, I feel like what their fate is. Like, SmackDown has...
At least they had more potential there.
SmackDown has been the land of opportunity where you could flourish. Now, if you're not flourishing in SmackDown and you're a lower card guy, then I feel like you're going to Raw. It's hard to believe that they're going to get a mid card push again, Kalisto again, or one for Crews at Raw. You would have thought it would have happened at SmackDown, right? But it didn't. So I don't know. We'll have to see how things shake out.
Right.
Yeah. Any thoughts before we go home?
All right, bro. So I'll say this.
Talk to me.
So I did spring cleaning on Sunday.
Uh-oh.
Cleaned out my closet.
Okay, Eminem.
Not because I wanted to, but Carla made me.
Dude, Carla's making a bunch of cameos on this podcast.
Because the thing's like, because she was saying like every show you go to, you at least get 3 shirts, wrestling shirts. She's like, and this needs to stop. Like, clean out your closet. Look at all the shirts that you have. You know, whatever.
Wow. Laying the smack it down.
Yeah. And it is true, you know? Like,
That's great. 3 shirts. I love it.
So, how many shirts do you think I have, wrestling shirts?
Shit.
Take a guess.
Can you give me an over-under?
You tell me and I'll tell you over and under then.
32.
Over.
Shit. That was a quick over, so I'm gonna raise it high. I'm gonna say 45.
47.
Oh damn, that is a lot of wrestling shirts.
That's a lot of fucking wrestling shirts, bro. I was like, okay.
How do you feel about that?
I didn't know how to feel about it initially, given the fact that I just got 3 shirts.
I mean, I want to shake your hand, but
no, it's a problem.
Cool.
Like, you know, and the good thing is that I don't have like at least the thing is like, you know, Carla, these are all bought by, like, I bought them off of the wrestlers.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm buying WWE t-shirts. The only WWE t-shirt that I have is the DIY. And I think I bought a Brock Lesnar, the Eat, Sleep, Conquer, Repeat.
Okay.
I bought that one because I had a promo code or something.
There's no shipping fees with these shirts?
No. I think I've ordered maybe from Pro Wrestling Tees.
Okay.
But very few, maybe like 3.
Okay. 100.
But no. But yeah.
Dude, wait, can I just clap it up for you?
No, I have to stop, man.
No, bro.
This is going to start digging into my, because we were talking, I want to go to Mania next year.
You want to go to Mania. This is your Mania fund. You can start selling those.
Right. No, and they're not all, like, you know, so I have a few, like, podcast ones that I've bought from people as well.
Oh, so you're contributing. You're
I'm
contributing.
right?
Yeah, people got podcasts. People need to eat. Wrestlers are independent contractors, you know.
So I think it's all good. And I reminded her when she told me once, we had gone to, I think it was one of the Logan shows. She bought a Zero Gravity shirt then.
Nice.
And she's like, man, I wish we had more money so I could support all these guys. So I remember that line.
Yeah.
And I brought it back to her. I'm like,
it's her fault.
How many people have we supported?
Many, many people. And it's a good transition if you want to support Two Heels and a Face.
Yes.
Tell them what they got to do. What do we want them to do? What do we want the listeners to do, Chris?
Just talk to us.
Tweet us. Tweet us.
Tweet at us.
That has to be the simplest ask of any podcast. I know there's a ton of wrestling podcasts out there. We're not oblivious to that fact.
Right.
We're just asking for a tweet. Tweet us a comment, a question about this podcast. That's it.
Right. It could end up in the buffet line.
Yeah. It
could end up in a recap.
Yeah.
Or in just a one-off conversation about wrestling.
Yeah.
Right.
And we'll respond. We respond to everyone. We usually at least will favorite or respond to everyone that tweets at us. So
yeah, for
you're gonna get a response back. Even I've seen people that I've responded to and you've responded to.
Yeah.
As we're both working the Twitter account. Yeah. But yes, please do that. Obviously, if you're listening to this, thank you for listening. We're on iTunes, SoundCloud, Twitter, Facebook, and we're going to be hopefully attending a freelance wrestling show upcoming. The winners of the buffet bracket, they're going to get a special prize from us, but you'll hear more about that when the time comes. Any other sign-offs, Chris, that you want to let the people know about?
No, what's next on your wrestling plate?
I don't know, man. There's some New Japan I want to watch. There's some WCPW I want to watch. A lot, man.
And then next wrestling show that you're attending would be?
Nothing's planned right now. Oh, Backlash.
Oh, well, we're doing the JR thing.
We're doing the JR thing. Yes, we're doing that JR meet
Which
and
is
greet.
Zany's. It's right next to Joe's.
Zany's right next to Joe's in Rosemont. And then we'll be going to Backlash, too, so we'll be there. We won't have a filter at Backlash because it'll probably be like $250.
Right, but if you see us, say hi to us.
We might have a filter at the JR's barbecue. So I don't even know if people know what we look like. Maybe we need to throw a pic out there.
Yeah, we'll post something out.
Yeah, but let's hang out. Let's talk wrestling. At Chuck_Colorado is myself. Chris is
at JP Wrestling Fan.
And we'll talk to you next time.
Thanks.